City boards and quorum courts across the state are now being forced to take another look at how they manage land development just outside city limits. That's how we begin tonight on THV 11 News. I am Rolly Hoyt.
And I'm Brooke Buckner. For decades, cities used what's called extra-territorial jurisdiction to shape growth in unincorporated areas. It spelled out that cities still enforce certain rules and laws, even though it's technically county land.
But a relatively new state law kicked in last year, cutting off that control, handing it to the county governments, and in some cases, catching them off guard, like in the case of billboard rules that we saw popping up in Pulaski County.
Tonight, our Catherine Rowley explains a new wrinkle in the power shift and what it means for developments in those growing outskirts.
The cities cannot have any jurisdiction outside their incorporated cities. And it also does not allow for counties and cities to basically come up with a mutual agreement. The counties stand on their own and the cities stand on their own.
Act 314, which took effect last year, ends a decades-long practice that allowed cities and counties to work together on development up to 3 miles outside city limits. The change also affects all of Arkansas's municipalities. So what did ETJs actually do? State Representative Paul Childers explains.
Allowed subdivisions that were being brought before the county to follow city current zones and city ordinances. So it just allowed cities to expand their current laws through their ordinances out into the county.
Less than a year in, cities say the impact is already showing up.
If you want to be incorporated with the city and get sewer, you have to do a pre-annexation agreement and annex into the city. So it does affect growth.
State leaders are also taking a closer look at the law's broader impact. Representative Childers asked Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin for an opinion after hearing concerns from the Arkansas Association of Counties. Cities are also losing tax revenue tied to utility services in those former ETJ areas.
They were allowing them to tie on to sewer, and then they were tying on to the water. They were getting revenue through the water and sewer for growth areas outside the incorporated city. And one thing it did do was it allowed cities to plan for their growth areas.
Even without ETJs, cities still have a path forward, but it looks different.
If a city has a growth area, they will have to do an annexation and bring that in. They can still accomplish their goals. They will just have to do annexations in, and they won't be able to work with counties.
In Little Rock, Catherine Rowley, THV 11 News.